back to RBR. Today we're going to be checking out the MAXX. We do have some suspension issues that we want to show you. Right here, we have the toe link. As you can see, it's bent. I don't know if you can see that. On both our MAXXs, it's actually bent on the same side. So I don't know if it's because we're both landing on the same way. I'm not sure, but we're going to take that off and replace it. Also, we're going to take a look at the servo saver right here. We notice that the cars drift an awful lot to the left and they don't correct no matter how much we adjust the trim. So we're going to take a look at that, but what we did notice, which I am going to show you right now, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. So as you can see, the servo saver right here, where it turns, if you hold the wheel, can you see right here in this area right here? Look how much it flexes. And that could cause a problem with it returning to center. So if it's struggling to turn, it's usually going to struggle to recenter. So what we're going to do is replace it. Sorry, one of our batteries is done. We're going to replace the toe link with 8997 just on one side. And we're going to replace the servo saver with 8946. But first we're going to take it out and actually build this one and compare the two. I can say this, there's a lot of mods out there that strengthen the servo saver. They put bolts through them with locking nuts on the other end to keep them from backing out, because I know a big problem is the bolt actually backs out and causes a lot of slop. But if you over tighten that, you're kind of eliminating what the servo saver is supposed to do, and you're gonna run into issues possibly damaging your servo. So it's only $7 if you end up breaking it. It's a lot better than destroying your servo. But you can eliminate the servo saver and just put a servo horn on there. But any kind of impact that you take, you run the risk of damaging it. We did a lot of bashing videos, and when you land and there's a big shock, especially when you land on the corner, it puts a lot of strain on that servo saver, and eventually it's going to wear out, if not break. And that's the whole point of it, though. It's done its job. It's saved your servo, and just replace it. Don't try and do any crazy mods, because it defeats the purpose of having it on there. This one broke pretty easily, I'm assuming, but our Rustler, that's the original servo saver, and we don't have any issues with it. But as you've seen in our videos, we haven't really bashed these a terribly lot. I mean, they've taken some hard landings, but nothing like the MAXX. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. Let's go ahead and take it apart. All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the chassis brace off. There are 4 different sizes. These are actually, I'm sorry, these are the same size. The front and back are a little bit different length. So it's not easy to mix them up. You'll know which ones they are. See, the front one's gonna be a little bit longer because the front one goes into the bulkhead. So put this aside, and when you pop this up, you're gonna pop it up and pull backwards, because it does have a little slot right here, so it kind of just slides in just like that. And on the servo saver, that little piece right there, that kind of goes in between these two for the steering linkage. So just make sure that's seated in when you put it back together. All right, now that that's out, we're gonna flip it over. And we're gonna take these guys off right here. Pop this one out. Take this arm off. Just like that. Separate that arm. That way we can take this out. Inspect it. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I'm not sure if that's a lot, but we're gonna check and see. Yeah, I tried tightening it down a little bit right here. It does tighten down more, but that just seems like a lot of play. Let's go and open this one up. kind of want to build it so I can kind of see it side by side, because I haven't taken too many servo savers apart and I want to know exactly what's going on with this, so I can understand and I can better show you guys what's going on. And this is what causes a lot of slop right there. It's supposed to pivot, so you don't want it pivoting a whole lot, because if it pivots too much, that's what causes a lot of that slop. So let's go ahead and put this together and kind of see what's going on with this. Okay, first let's pop out the bearings. Just take your time with them. You don't want to hurt the bearings. Just kind of pop them out. There you go. Got those out. Go ahead and take this one apart. I want to see what screws in this one. And that's going to rotate just like that. It's going to pivot. Just like that. Now let me show you the original one. Look at all that damage right there. Look at all that. So as you can see on this one, it's a lot smoother. So that's what's been going on. So it's a good thing we took it apart. So let's go ahead and assemble the other one. I like to keep these as a reference, so I kind of try and keep them together, especially since I've never done these repairs before, so I don't want to get myself confused. So next we're going to put the arm on, and the arm does go on the inside. There's 2 slots. It's going to go on the inside, and that's what these bolts are for. It's going to go through the bottom, just like that. Just like everything else, they're self-tapping, so you're going to want to push down a little bit to start the threads. Just make sure it's snug. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it's a good thing I did see it. Do you guys see that right there? I'm sorry. Do you see the arrow? There's an arrow right on it. I don't know if I can get the focus. There you go. There's an arrow. So the arrow is going to point towards the front of the car, because when this is in there, it's going to be sitting like this, so it's going to point towards the front of the car. We're going to put the other one in. Let me know if you guys use the Traxxas tools. These turn out really great, but what I don't like about mine is you can turn it, and then while you're turning it, it locks up and it wants to turn the other way, or it just locks up like a regular screwdriver. So once you know this is tight, which that's all it really needs, you pop that bearing right over it, just like that. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is the bearings that are down in here, I'm just gonna make sure that they're cleaned off, which they are. And then we're gonna install our servo saver and our linkage. I had that backwards. Just like that. That sits in those bearings, and that's nice and free. You always want to test it, and that's nice and free right there. And I put this stuff on. The linkage screws, I always do them by hand. You don't want to run into problems where you're stripping anything. Just like that, so it's snug. Doesn't have to be too tight. Double check it, looks good. All right. I'm gonna make sure that's seated down. Just like that. And then we're gonna put the chassis brace on. Remember, make sure this is nice and clean. Especially these dowels, I call them dowels. These dowels right here, because they line up the bearings. So you put that on, slide that in, just like that, move it around a little bit. Make sure it's in. Just like that. Make sure it's not too tight. Remember, the short bolt goes in the rear. Just like that. And the long one goes in the front because it goes through the bulkhead. Just like that. All right, now that that's in, we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna attach the linkage. Pop these guys in. Now we're gonna get our new toe link. They are the same size. The inboard is gonna be much bigger than the outboard. The inner one in first. Move it over just a little bit. Yeah, so don't get that confused. You're not gonna be able to put it in wrong. This is a little bit tougher to put in. I'm gonna rotate this around so you guys can still see. There you go, pops right in. Nice and snug. I'm gonna flip it over and then put on the outer. Sometimes you can be a little troublesome to pop in. And that's it. Let's go ahead and power it up. See, everything moves. Nice and smooth. Now let's see what happens when we hold it. It's much stronger. It's much stronger. A bent toe link will definitely cause that problem. So this also could have been the culprit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it for a test run and see if that actually works. Another thing you guys wanna check out, look at your receiver, okay? Take the receiver apart, make sure the double-sided tape, the adhesive that holds the receiver in the box didn't come loose, because if that receiver inside is moving around, this has TSM. So it's gonna react to how you're moving if that thing's bouncing around, and that could cause a problem. Sometimes that tape does come loose. If you get dirt in there or maybe moisture because it wasn't sealed, that can cause a problem. So definitely take a look at that. But there could be a lot of issues of why your RC car is not tracking straight. So those are the main things. I mean, if you undo the linkage and everything moves smooth, that's the one thing you want to do, is once you take this arm off and you can freely move it back and forth, you've eliminated any kind of binding. The next thing you want to look at is make sure all your linkage is tight, nothing's bent, the arms aren't bent, none of the screws are loose. So there is some inspecting that needs to be done to find out why it's doing that. But we're gonna take these things out because we got a versus video coming up, and we're gonna check it out and see if this thing tracks straight. So if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment. Let us know if there's anything that you've done that you found that fixed it, or if you're still having issues, let us know. We'll try and help you out or make another video if you need any help. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Later.